the sound's still running though, the intro sound. Still there, yeah. Yeah. I think the sound's still running though, the intro sound. Okay. So guys, we are live. Yes, Jesus is King for sure. Sorry about the delays, man. We're just trying to we're trying to pull up stuff on the laptop. Going forward, honestly, we're going to have a little set routine an hour before we even go onto the holding screen. We'll have it all figured out. I know I have you guys waiting on the holding screen a little too long, but, I've been spending the last 2-3 weeks with mum. I hadn't seen her in 4 years, but now we're about to lock in, all put the parts together. We've got a lot of long form videos coming out, but even within streams, we're not going to let you guys sit in the intro section for too much longer. But I appreciate you guys being here. We've got like 6-7 people on Instagram and we've got 5 people on YouTube. Come over to YouTube, guys. Sorry, guys, just reading the chats. But yeah, come over to YouTube, come over to Rumble, come over to Kick, Twitch. I'm going to cut off the Instagram stream within around 5 minutes. So yeah, guys, welcome to The Natural Effect, where we talk about health, wealth, and everything else. I'm your host, Nate, and today we've got a few things we're going to uncover. Haven't been streaming for a couple weeks now. We've been dropping loads of clips regardless, loads of clips from girls' nights, past streams. But yeah, today we're going to be talking about the UFC fight night that's coming up. Jack Della Maddalena going up against Carlos Prates. Going to be an epic striking fight. We're going to go into Arsenal. Obviously, Arsenal just keep letting me down, even though the result against Atletico wasn't too bad. We'll talk about Arsenal. Then we're going to be covering a bunch of MMA news. And then from there, we're going to be covering UFC 328, which is happening next weekend. Probably the card I'm most excited for all year now. Big Khamzat fan. Sean Strickland's all right as well. Good fighter, but I'm a big Khamzat fan, and I'm definitely looking forward to that fight. And we'll be uncovering the whole card on UFC 328. And then we'll be going on to Jake Shields posting about Erica Kirk, reacting to some football videos, some nostalgic stuff, a bunch of red pill stuff within dating. I didn't really know that Klay Thompson was even dating Megan Thee Stallion, if you want me to be honest with you, but I found out that they've split up, and, a bunch of people are saying that he fumbled the bag. So I'm going to be responding to that. Talking about how athletes need to do better. And then from there, we're going to be reacting to the Nick Fuentes video of him pushing that libtard down the stairs. And, he actually got not guilty because I think she was trying to sue him or something, but we'll look into that a bit more. Adrian Broner goes broke and why to reject materialism. And as someone who used to love materialism, we're going to go into that a lot deeper. We're going to be talking about how a lot of these females who are sexualizing themselves and doing a bunch of OnlyFans are using Christianity to market themselves and to grift. And then we're just going to be responding to a bunch of new news. For example, American Pie star who's in her 50s decides to do OnlyFans all of a sudden, which proves feminism obviously didn't work. If prostitution is still the number one occupation for females after all these years of deep feminism, then obviously, one, women are not obviously that smart, and second of all, feminism obviously don't work if they're still having to prostitute themselves, even after having a long career as an actress as well. So we're going to be responding to Lewis Hamilton, the simp dating Kim Kardashian, a bunch of new football stuff, an article come out about Erewhon being like the number one dating place in LA right now, which is hilarious. And we're going to be responding to a bunch of comments that were left on the Erewhon post. The elephant hunter, Ernie Docio, dies, getting trampled on by a bunch of elephants, which is, ironic, and, I guess it's karma. And yeah, that's pretty much. And then after that, we're going to end it with a new Chew review. So if you guys don't know, here in America, here in California, Pie Chew has been one of the leading strains in the last year. For me, it's definitely one of my favorites. Kind of reminds me of an old school sour with a little something more into it. But yeah, it's done by the firm, the same guys that do the Toad Venom. And we're going to be reviewing that at the end on Kick. So, guys, I'm going to cut off the Instagram stream. And I'll see you guys on YouTube, guys. So, we will be on YouTube alone. So, anyone who's watching on Instagram, come over to YouTube, come over to Kick, Rumble, or Twitch. Okay, let me close everything off and then we can get it cracking, guys. Yeah, good idea. Go ahead. All right, guys, welcome to the stream. So let's get it cracking, man. Let's get it cracking. A lot to talk about today. This weekend, we do have a fight night card. From my understanding, it is going to be in Australia. And, you know, the card isn't too great, but there are two fights on the card that I'm looking forward to. First of all, it is the co-main event. Yeah, it's Beneil Dariush. For me, he's a great fighter. A lot of people can call him a gatekeeper of the lightweight division, but he's going up against Salkild. And, you know, Salkild, I've been high on this guy from Australia, man. He's very techie. I feel like he's got that killer instinct in him. And I have said he is a problem in the lightweight division, especially with his length, his reach. But we're really going to find out this weekend how good he really is, because Beneil Dariush is not no punk. He is not no bum. And he has got great ground game. So will Salkild be able to keep it standing? And if he is able to keep it standing, you know, it's not like Beneil Dariush can't fight or can't strike. You know, he can, but he's not elite in that department, in my opinion. So if Salkild can keep it standing, I do see him getting the knockout. But if Beneil Dariush is able to get it to the ground, perhaps it might be a problem for Salkild. But we're going to find out this weekend, guys. Now, in the main event, we do have two epic strikers in the welterweight division. We have the ex-champion, Jack Della Maddalena, going up against Carlos Prates, you know, the chain smoker, the guy who loves his tobacco, but he has got elite striking. He has got a lot of power in his hands. And I'll be honest with you, I'm a fan of both these guys, yeah? Like, the fighting nerds do give me a little bit of that. I do find them a little cringy, the fighting nerds, but not so much Prates. Prates is all right, even though I do think he should stop smoking, because there's no chance that smoking tobacco is going to be beneficial for any athlete. Let's be completely honest. But JDM has got elite boxing, and Prates is more of a Muay Thai fighter, right? So I'm looking forward to the clash between those guys. It is going to be in JDM's backyard in Australia. Prates is going there from Brazil, but let's see if he can go over there and beat the ex-champion, get that W, go up the rankings, and hopefully get a title fight in the future. Now, even though I'm a fan of both guys, and I think both of them are great fighters, I am going to go with Prates on this one. Hopefully, he doesn't tire out, even though we don't really see him tiring out for a guy who smokes so many cigarettes. But in the later rounds, you know, he doesn't fight too many 5-round fights. Maybe if it goes deeper into the later rounds in round 4 and 5, maybe his cardio does go downhill and JDM's able to piece him up. However, I'm going to go for the early round finishes. I'm probably going to go for the second or third round, and I think Prates will connect and find a clean punch and maybe lay him out. So that's who I'm going for this weekend, guys. Now, we read some chats quickly as well. Looking forward to seeing Strickland fight next week. Yeah, for sure, man. Looking forward to that one. Klay Thompson is an absolute legend, one of the greatest three-point shooters of all time. Exactly, and then you have retards out there saying, you know, how Megan Thee Stallion and him splitting up, he fumbled the bag, you know. I can't even believe he was even dating her in the first place, but we'll go into that a little bit later. Dude was out for 2 seasons because of his ACL and invested in crypto, meanwhile still balling. Did you see Antonio going nuts as Spurs won their first playoff series in 9 years? I did see that, and yeah, they crushed it, man. They crushed it, and they've had a great season. I haven't been following NBA as much, but now the playoffs are here, I will be following it a little bit more for sure. Whole city was buzzing. Big up to Texas, big up to the Spurs. But yeah, let's move on. So guys, look, Arsenal Champions League went up against Atletico Madrid in Spain. And look, I'll take the 1-1, especially how we played. For me, Atletico looked like the better side. We weren't able to create many chances. Regardless, I do feel that was a penalty with Eze. You know, was it a little bit soft? Perhaps, but look, there was contact in the box. He stopped the run. So for me, it was definitely a penalty, even though a lot of people would turn around and say that was soft. But regardless, guys, I'm not pleased with my team. I'm not happy. We're not creating good opportunities. We're not playing that good football, and we're just getting by. And at this point of the season, it's really not good enough. Like this weekend, I'm hoping that we can go out there, go get the W. I think we've got Fulham at home. And then Man City do have Everton away, which is going to be a lot more of a harder game. And perhaps they're able to drop points, and that might lift our morale, and we can go on and actually put our foot over the line and win the Premier League finally after 4 years of bottling it. But let me tell you guys, I'm not that hopeful. Sorry, I'm telling you guys, I'm very hopeful. Like, you know, I'm not convinced. Especially how we've been playing, our morale. We seem like we're down at the moment. And even our performance, like I said, midweek against Atletico, it just wasn't good enough. Now, 1-1's not a bad result. Hopefully, we can go back to the Emirates, get a W, and go on to the final and play the winner out of Bayern Munich and PSG. But even that game, the way we're playing right now, do you really see the Gunners going and beating Bayern Munich or PSG? It's going to be an uphill battle, and we do need to go and turn it around within the next game or two and start creating more chances, playing better football, and actually showing some fucking hunger that we want to win a fucking trophy. Okay, so I'm going to show you guys a little article written on Nina Drama. Now, if you guys are not familiar about who Nina Drama is, she's like an MMA influencer. She's used herself, sexualizing herself throughout her whole career, pushed by Dana White and the UFC, which I really don't understand. I don't understand if she's banging one of the bosses or whatnot. But she's come out and she's upset now that people are making up rumors or saying perhaps she's fucking a lot of these fighters. And it's ironic and so much of a contradiction, her saying this, because she's the one out there flirting with these fighters, making out that she is banging them, playing on that and making content out of it. And now she doesn't like it, the fact that she's getting called a 304 and people are saying that she slept with R-Man and Alex Pereira and maybe even Uncle Dana, and she only has herself to blame. And, you know, I even saw R-Man backing her and saying that she's always with her boyfriend and it's only content. But no, it's not just content. When you're sexualizing yourself the way Nina Drama does, makes out that she is banging these, making out that she's banging these fighters, even if it's a joke or content, you're going to get labeled like that, and people are going to think that you are a 304 that's banging these athletes. Very simple. So for her to turn it around and make herself look like a victim, it's actually disgusting behavior. And it shows, again, what I've been saying in the past, that women don't want to take accountability. They want to act like 304s, get all the privileges of being in that position. But when guys turn around and say, well, you know, you're probably getting, your husband is a cuck and he's probably watching you getting banged out by all these athletes, you don't like it all of a sudden, but you play off that same shit. It's like crazy. So guys, I'll show you guys what the article says here. So Nina Drama responded to rumors about her hooking up with UFC fighters. She said she had taken jokes and online comments too far and wanted to address it directly. Explained she works closely with fighters filming content, which is why she's often around them. She made it clear they're friends and collaborators, not relationships. She also added her husband is a creative director and helps produce her content. Be honest, you'll actually believe her or not. And look, I don't believe it personally. I do think that Nina Drama's probably banged Alex, probably banged R-Man, even Uncle Dana. But let's just pretend that she hasn't, yeah? Do you really think that her husband cares about her, or is he just rinsing her out for the money and for the clout that comes with it? And he's obviously, getting a lot of benefits out of that because she's probably the provider in the relationship. But if you're putting your woman out there, sexualizing her and making out that she's banging these fighters for content, yeah, then bro, you are a certified cuck and not a real man. And clearly you don't really care about your woman. And like I said before, she's got to take accountability. She puts herself out there like she is a 304. She does make some outlandish jokes and remarks with the fighters that suggest that they're fucking each other. So now she's coming out and making out like she's the victim, and all these fans are, coming out at her for no reason. It's crazy to me. Wild work. So yeah. Let me read some of the chats. Eze kind of lost the ball with his touch. He could have never got back to the ball. That is true. That is true. That's something that I said to my cousin, that perhaps the touch was a little heavy and he wasn't able to actually make it before going off. But we don't know that. We really don't know that. And it would have been extremely close. The facts are that there was contact. It is in the box. If that happens anywhere else on the pitch, it is a penalty. So for me, it's a penalty, guys. But nevertheless, we just weren't good enough in that game against Atletico. So moving on from Nina Drama. So Jake Paul had an interview and he was basically clowning on Ilia Topuria and saying, that he's a midget and he would destroy him in a boxing fight and it wouldn't last longer than one round and all this gibberish. And it's like, come on, Jake, what the fuck are you talking about? And the fact that he's making out he doesn't fight small guys, like literally Jake Paul was ready to fight Gervonta Davis, who's a lot shorter and a smaller guy than Ilia Topuria. Ilia Topuria, for sure, is not as good as a boxer as Gervonta Davis. But let me tell you guys something. Ilia Topuria is more likely to knock out a big guy than Gervonta Davis is. Gervonta Davis doesn't have that power to knock out big guys. But Ilia Topuria definitely does. And the fact that Jake Paul's coming out trying to clown on Ilia Topuria when he didn't even beat Tommy Fury, lost to another influencer, Tyson Fury's little brother, who's not exactly big in the boxing game, and now he's making out like, I've knocked out all these UFC fighters who were good strikers, like Tyron Woodley. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? Look, respectfully, Tyron was a decent champion in the welterweight division at that period of time, but he wasn't a great fighter, especially all round. His boxing sucks. He hasn't got good striking, and he used to rely just pinning people against the cage. Let's be completely honest. So the fact that Jake Paul's trying to make out like he's beating all these top fighters and Ilia Topuria would be easy and he's a midget and he shouldn't fight him. Come on, bro. You're coping. You're literally coping. So here, guys, I'm gonna play you guys a clip from Ian Gary. He's, making out that Islam's trying to avoid him in the UFC. I'll play you guys the clip and then I'll respond after it. So,
1000% be next to fight against Islam Makhachev. Ian Gary should 1000% be next to fight against Islam Makhachev. Ian Gary should 1000% be next to fight against Islam Makhachev. Gary should 1000% be next to fight.
So, as you guys saw in the clip, it's Ian Gary waiting for the phone to ring, making out that Islam Makhachev is avoiding him. And look, even though I do think that Ian Gary is a great fighter and a cuck at the same time, I don't think that Islam Makhachev would avoid anyone. Like, Islam Makhachev is the real deal. And I do think that in the wrestling department, that Ian Gary, even though he's a big guy, 6'3", I think, for someone in the welterweight division, he stands very tall and he's got a big frame. However, I still think that Islam Makhachev would wrestle the fuck out of him. Now, going back to the clip, I saw some of the comments and they were hilarious, and it was basically saying it was Ian Gary waiting for his wife to tell him that she's coming home from a date, him being a cuck and all the rumors that people talk about Ian Gary. And look, at the end of the day, he kind of deserves it because he did wifey a woman who made a book talking about how to be a wife of a footballer, a wag, I think they call it. And, and she's older and she did have a child from a previous relationship. Like, I kind of get why people are hitting at Ian Gary. And, him making these kind of memes, and it doesn't help him. And he got peppered up in the comments section. All right, let's move on from that. So, guys, not sure if you guys saw the clip, but there was a clip of Arman Tsarukyan, and he was on the phone on a video call, and he was on the video call with Ryan Garcia. And Ryan Garcia was basically telling him that Henry Cejudo would beat him, and he actually offered to give Arman Tsarukyan the 40,000 he owed him from the previous bets. And look, if you beat Henry Cejudo in a wrestling match, then I'll give you the 40k I owe you. Well, first of all, Ryan, even though you're a Christian like myself, and I do like the way you speak about Jesus and our faith, come on, bro. A man has to keep by his word. And if you did place a bet, you got to pay for that bet. And the fact that you're using the old money that you owe for a new bet is completely wild and crazy to me. Like, bro, pay what you owe first and then you can bet again. But yeah, now he's saying that if Arman Tsarukyan is able to beat Henry Cejudo in a wrestling match, then he will give him the 40,000 that he owes him. Me personally, I do think that Arman beats Henry Cejudo in a wrestling match, even though Henry Cejudo is an ex-Olympic gold medalist. But I still think that Arman Tsarukyan has got the size over him, got the athleticism over him, and I do think that Arman would win that fight between them. Now, let's see if it happens, if RAF hook that up. But yeah, Ryan Garcia, be a man of your word, pay your debts, and you're going to lose respect in the man's world by doing what you do. Right, by doing what you've done, sorry. Okay, so I also saw a clip of Shavkat Rakhmonov, who for me was clear number one contender in the welterweight division. And I did think that him and Islam Makhachev was probably the biggest fight to make in the welterweight division. But he had a big ACL injury, and it seems that he's not healing very quickly and he's struggling to bounce back. And I saw a clip of Shavkat recently, and he lost all his muscle, man. And it was sad to see. And it makes you think, like, do you think that Shavkat Rakhmonov is ever going to come back to the UFC? Perhaps is it the end of his career? Will he ever bounce back and get to the top of the welterweight division? Will he be able to gain that muscle in time? Fight another? Because, look, let's be honest, Dana White's not going to give him that title fight straight away, especially after being out for so long. But it is sad to see someone who was such a great fighter going downhill and now having such a big injury and not being able to bounce back from it. But yeah, man, let's see if he ever returns. And if he does return, let's see if he's ever going to be the same Shavkat Rakhmonov. Yeah, Garcia is definitely a poser, 100%. So, obviously, Arman Tsarukyan has been on a generational run from content to interviews to wrestling matches. And now it's coming to that time where perhaps he's actually going to fight. Now, you guys are probably thinking, what the fuck are you talking about, bro? He's not booked. Dana White hasn't booked him. I know. But for the White House card, Arman Tsarukyan has come out and said that he is going to be the backup fighter for not just one fight, but actually two of the fights on that main card. And, you know, one of them is Michael Chandler against Mauricio Rufy. Now, I would like to see Chandler drop out of that fight because for me, Chandler has no chance of beating Rufy. Rufy, I've only seen him as of recent. I haven't done a lot of research on him, but I know a great fighter when I see one. And for me, he has got elite counter striking. Now, I would rather see Arman Tsarukyan against Mauricio Rufy, but if that fight does go ahead, then I do see Rufy knocking out Chandler within the first couple rounds. But also, Arman Tsarukyan also said that he's going to be the backup for the main event. Ilia Topuria going up against Justin Gaethje. Now, again, I would rather see Arman Tsarukyan fighting Ilia Topuria than seeing Ilia Topuria knocking out Justin Gaethje within the first round or two, because that's what I predict. I think that Justin Gaethje is levels below Ilia, especially as of recent times. That fight, Justin Gaethje against Paddy Pimblett, I was not convinced that Justin Gaethje's got any chance of beating Ilia Topuria. His chin's high, his hands are low, his striking didn't look that clean. He looked, if you want me to be honest with you, like one of the worst versions of Justin Gaethje. And it showed the levels, because even a low-level Justin Gaethje went out there and absolutely dominated Paddy Pimblett. And, you know, I've been saying for a while that Paddy Pimblett is overrated and he's not who the UFC have made him out to be. In fact, he's had an easy run to get to the top of that division. But yeah, let's see if any of these fighters are going to pull out and Arman Tsarukyan steps in. But yeah, he's officially the backup for both of those fights, like he said, allegedly. So yeah, looking forward to the main... So yeah, looking forward to the White House card, even though I do think that a lot of the American fighters are not going to get Ws and it could have been a better card. I'm still looking forward to that card as well, just to see how they do it at the White House, all the fights that are on the card. You know, it's not like they're useless fights, but I do think that Dana White, Mick Maynard, and Hunter could have done a better job with the matchmaking. Now, a big fight that's coming up that I've been looking... Now, a big fight that's coming up, which I've been looking forward to for a long time now. It is Khamzat Chimaev going up against Sean Strickland. And I am very happy that the number one contender didn't get that fight, Imavov. And you guys are probably thinking, well, bro, you always talk about how the ranking should be like, you know, the next guy up. Yes, and Imavov does deserve to fight against Khamzat Chimaev. But the facts are that Strickland already beat Imavov. And there is a lot of tension between Sean Strickland and Khamzat. They used to train together. They have a lot of hatred for each other. You know, Sean Strickland talks about Kadyrov and, you know, that Russian dictator, allegedly. And then Khamzat Chimaev also says that Sean Strickland is a clown and he dominated him in training. So I'm looking forward to not just the fight itself, but the press conference as well. It's going to be very entertaining. And even already they're talking shit about each other. We've got Khamzat saying that his team caught up with Sean Strickland and, you know, told him about himself face to face. And Sean Strickland was actually scared and gave excuses about how he's just trying to hype up the fight. And then also you have from the other side where Sean Strickland is saying that if Khamzat or any of his team come and threaten him outside of the octagon and think that they can, you know, jump him or anything like that, then he is going to shoot first and ask questions later. So yeah, we've got Sean Strickland threatening Khamzat and his team's life, and then you've got Khamzat saying that he's bullied him already and his team has already stuck it all over Sean Strickland, and Sean Strickland was shook and didn't want none of it. So yeah, guys, looking forward to that. There's no chats in the thing because the last thing is Garcia was a poser, right? All right, cool. Just making sure. So I saw some 304 interviewing Carlos Prates. Now, I don't know if it's the same girl that interviewed Drake in the bed. Like, is it the same girl that interviews everyone in a bed? I'm not sure if it's her. I can't remember her name. Don't really give a fuck, you know. Like I say all the time, female content creators they suck majority of the time. Like, you know, there's not many Candice Owens. Let's just be very clear. But anyway, this chick, I don't know if it's the same chick that did interview Drake. Probably not, right? Because I would say Drake is a lot more of a bigger figure than someone like Carlos Pratt, and there's kind of different avenues. But perhaps it's like a new MMA 304 that's trying to take her same recipe of interviewing celebrities, instead interviewing fighters and interviewing them in their bed, which is ironic to me because she started shaming him for wanting to be single for a long time. And it's like, yeah, he might want to be single for a long time because of 304s like you. Like, you're literally in a bed, ironically interviewing a fighter. Like, you could interview him anywhere, and why in a bed? Anyway, yeah, Carlos Prates was saying that he wants to be alone and single for a long time. And, you know, I understand it. I understand it because the truth is, it is a numbers game to go and find yourself a great woman and a great wife. You might have to meet 100 girls before meeting one good woman, or maybe 200-300 or perhaps meeting 200-300 women before meeting a great wife. But especially him being Brazilian, I'm just going to be clear with you guys. Brazilian women are perhaps the biggest L in the world. They tend to be very promiscuous. They don't like to cook and clean. They live a liberal kind of mindset. And Carlos Prates has probably banged a few of these Brazilian chicks and thought, you know what? None of them has made me a meal. They're only good for sucking and fucking my dick. You know, they're not that hygienic and clean around my house. And simply, they're not an asset. They're a liability. So I kind of understand why Carlos Prates has said that he wants to be single and alone for the rest of his life. And look, the thing is, right now, he is concentrating on his career. He's high in the rankings in the welterweight division. And perhaps it's not the right time for him to go and start a family and find himself a great wife. And men do have a later prime than women. Like, for example, he could really wait until he's 35, 40 to go and find a great wife. He doesn't have to rush. Within women, they have a smaller period where they have to go and find the greatest man they can find. 18 to 24, I would say. So, yeah, Bobby Altoff is the... Oh, yeah, that's it. Bobby. I remember. Her name was Bobby. Yeah, I doubt it's the same girl, right? It must be just a new girl who's copying Bobby's recipe, but in the MMA world. Come on, man. Like, have some creativity, right? Anyway, we're going to move on to UFC 328. And then we're going to close off the MMA news. And then we're going to move on to a lot of the Red Pill stuff. We're going to be reacting to a lot of videos, a lot of politics, and talking about dating, a lot of females and men, the dating market, etc. So, UFC 328 is coming up, guys, May 9th. And like I said, extremely looking forward to the main fight. Khamzat Chimaev going up against Sean Strickland. A lot of controversy, a lot of tension between them. But let me be honest with you guys. On paper, perhaps this is the best card of the year so far. And we're going to go run through all the fights on the main card and give you guys a prediction and which ones I'm looking forward to the most. But guys, don't miss this out. I know a lot of you guys aren't going to miss it out, which, you know, me, I don't miss any UFC. If you want me to be honest with you, I'm far from a casual. I like to even watch the ones where the cards are shit. However, this card, don't miss it, guys. All my casuals out there, obviously the guys who are dedicated to the UFC are going to be watching it either way. But if you are a casual out there, do not miss this one. This one is one to be watched, and it's going to be great. Jays, what's happening, brother? I hope you're doing well, man. Big love to you. But yeah, so the first fight on the main card of UFC 328, we do have Bobby Green going up against Jeremy Stephens. And, you know, I get it. Bobby's name, he's changed it to King. But look, I'll only call Jesus King. No one else. I'm not going to call another man King. But yeah, Bobby Green is going up against Jeremy Stephens. That is going to be a great fight. Two old school guys. I would say Jeremy Stephens packs more power than Bobby Green, but Bobby Green has a lot better boxing than he does. The only problem with Bobby Green is he does fight with his hands extremely low, and Jeremy does pack a lot of power. So it's going to be risky, but even though it is risky, I'm going to go with Bobby Green on this one. I think he's just had better fights. Even though they both have experience, I would say that the levels that Bobby Green's been fighting have been higher. Even though, you know, Jeremy Stephens hasn't been that long with him outside of the UFC. But Bobby Green has fought a lot of the high-level guys in that division. From, you know, like Islam Makhachev, the Paddies, pretty much everyone in that division, if you want me to be honest with you. Big love to you too, my bro. So yeah, I'm going to go with Bobby Green on this one, but I'm looking forward to it, and it can go either way. We've seen Bobby Green get knocked out before, and Jeremy Stephens does have that power. Next up, we have Sean Brady going up against Joaquin Buckley. Another great fight, guys. This one's going to be in the middleweight division. You know, Joaquin Buckley, for me, he's got elite striking. He's not that much of a lengthy guy, a little bit small for the division, but, you know, he's built like a Ninja Turtle. And then he's going up against Sean Brady, which Sean Brady's the kind of guy who dominates most people in that division, but when he comes across the high level guys, he just can't get past them, man. And even though I was high on Sean Brady in the past and I thought that he could potentially be a champion one day, he has got to the stage right now where he is one of the main gatekeepers in the middleweight division. Now, in this one, even though I just called him a gatekeeper, I am going to go with Sean Brady. I think that if he's able to take it to the ground, implement his wrestling, then he can get that W over Buckley. And we saw it happen with Kamaru Usman, right, in the last fight with Buckley. And I think that Sean Brady's wrestling is not that much far off Kamaru Usman's. So, yeah, I'm going to go with Sean Brady on this one. But again, can go either way. If Buckley catches him with some crazy, dirty combinations, then you just never know. But, yeah. Next up, heavyweight division. We've got the big, lanky, tall guy. You know, he's like 6'7", 6'8". Volkov going up against Waldo Cortez Acosta. And, you know, the Pirate, people are talking high about him right now, talking about he's the next problem in the heavyweight division. He's knocking out man after man. And yeah, definitely. Who did Waldo Cortez Acosta fight last? He's coming off wins, right? He didn't lose his last fight. I'm pretty sure he's coming off all wins. But yeah, guys, I'm definitely looking forward to this one because for me, Volkov is one of the most technical guys in the heavyweight division. Likes to use his distance, likes to keep his distance and use his reach. He's got clean striking. He's not the worst grappler, but I don't think he's going to go for the grappling against Waldo Cortez Acosta. He might perhaps mix it up, but I do think he's going to try and keep it standing, try and point fight him, and get that win over 3 rounds. Now, Waldo Cortez Acosta, I think he's going to go out there for the kill and try and find Volkov nice and early and knock him out. Now, this one, even though Cortez Acosta is on a run right now, and there's a lot of hype behind him in the heavyweight division, I'm still going to go with Volkov. Because Volkov is one of those guys who's high level and a little bit of a gatekeeper. He hasn't beaten the greatest guys in that division, but he's beaten all of the good guys in that division. So I'm going to go with Volkov on this one, even though Waldo Cortez Acosta has got the hype behind him. But yeah, could go either way. And if Volkov was to get knocked out in the first 2 rounds, it's not like I'd be completely surprised. But my money is on the lanky Russian. Yeah, all KOs, yeah. I'm actually predicting KOs right now. You know what? Is Tatsuro Taira still fighting? Because I thought I saw... One sec. UFC. Where's the... Didn't I have a bin round here? It's cool. Okay, UFC 328. Let me type this in. One sec, guys. Give me 2 secs. Ethan, buddy. Also, guys, next stream, I think we're going to start implementing like you know, a little bit more entertainment for you guys. So we'll be on Omegle, you know, clowning people on Omegle, trolling people, and a few other things. We'll be responding to a few more videos, and I'm going to start creating segments within the stream. So we'll have like an MMA segment, a football segment, a red pill segment, and a politics segment. And even the politics segment in the future, we'll probably try and start keeping that only on Rumble and Kick. Okay, so the co-main event for UFC 3-2... Oh, no, actually, that's what I wanted to check. One sec, because I don't know if this is going ahead, because I thought that Tatsuro Taira is injured and Joshua Van will be fighting... Oh, no, I guess he's still fighting, yeah. It hasn't been taken off at all. Okay, so guys, for UFC 328, the co-main event, it is Tatsuro Taira going up against the champion, Joshua Van. And for some reason, I thought that Tatsuro Taira pulled out, but from doing my latest research, that fight's still going ahead. Now, I thought that Tatsuro Taira got injured and Pantoja was perhaps going to step in, the ex-champion, which, you know, the way he lost, it wasn't a real way. You saw him, like, you know, bend his elbow against Joshua Van. It was unfortunate the way it ended. However, Joshua Van is the current flyweight champion in the UFC. But yeah, I'm looking forward to this one. Tatsuro Taira for me is a great fighter, and Joshua Van again a great fighter. Both of them are very well-rounded, but I don't know why, but I do think that Tatsuro Taira is going to go and get the W in this one. Now, it can go either way again, like I said, with all these fights. In fact, all the fights on UFC 328 on the main card are not 50-50 fights, but they're fights that it can go either way. And those are the kind of fights that I fucking love to watch, man. Love to watch. In fact, the fight that is the most one-sided on the main card for me is the main event, Khamzat Chimaev v Sean Strickland, which I'm gonna go with Khamzat Chimaev, which we'll go on to that in a second. But back to Tatsuro Taira and Joshua Van, it can go either way. They are both great fighters. They are both all-rounded. They're both youthful and young, and they've got a lot of speed behind them. Obviously, they're light guys, but yeah, I think it can go either way. But I'm gonna go with Tatsuro Taira on this one. And yeah, looking forward to this fight, man. It's going to be a great fight. 5 rounds of high elite striking. I think if it's not going to be striking, it's going to be an all-rounded fight. But yeah, let's see who's going to be the next one up to fight Pantoja, because that's definitely the fight to make next in the flyweight division. You have to give the ex-champion, who didn't lose his title in a real way, come back and fight the winner out of Tatsuro Taira and Joshua Van. Okay. Well, look, Zakia, the Discord guy, yeah, we'll take your details, but just give us like an example. I want to see 1,000 live viewers right now. Just blast it up. Let's see what happens. Okay, so the main event for the main event, and for me, it's probably the main event of 2026 so far. The fight that I've been looking forward to, excited about, you know, kind of torn between two things, because you guys know I'm very patriotic when it comes to America. In fact, when it comes to all my countries, America, England, Cyprus, and Greece, but especially America. You know, I talk about how the opportunities here are amazing, the land's amazing. Unfortunately, we're not controlling our politics, and there's a lot of corruption within our country, but we're not going to go into that right now. But Sean Strickland is obviously a patriot, and he does annoy me sometimes, and I think he has got a little bit of degenerate and stupid takes. But I can't go against my favorite fighter, Khamzat Chimaev. I've been watching this guy from the beginning, telling everyone he was going to be a champion from the beginning. And I knew it was only going to be time until he become a champion. And, you know, he's the middleweight champion right now. And I do believe he's the type of guy that could perhaps go become a champion at in the light heavyweight division as well. But yeah, let's see if Sean Strickland's going to be able to keep it standing. Maybe try and take it into the later rounds where we know that Khamzat Chimaev does struggle with his cardio. Or is Khamzat Chimaev going to be able to dominate him on the ground exactly how he did to Du Plessis? Now, I do think there's going to be a little bit more pressure on Khamzat Chimaev because a lot of people did come out and say that he was a boring fighter, that the fight between him and Du Plessis put them to sleep, and he might perhaps come out a little bit more aggressive, especially knowing all the history between him and Sean Strickland, the fact that they used to train together, they don't like each other, Sean Strickland's threatened his life and that he will shoot him and his team. Khamzat said that he's a clown and he only craves attention and he's scared when he comes across any of Khamzat's team. So, look, there's a lot of backstory behind it. And it's going to be a great fight. Very anticipating. But, yeah, my money's going to be on Khamzat Chimaev. I think he is going to be able to take it to ground, perhaps implement a bit of ground and pound and maybe go for that submission finish. Now, is there a chance that Sean Strickland is able to get it back to the ground, take it into the later rounds, and maybe even stop Khamzat Chimaev? I'm not saying never. I'm not saying no. You know, that could happen. But I am going for Khamzat Chimaev, who's the favorite on this one, guys. Who's your money on? Let me know in the comment section. UFC 328. Do not miss it. Even for you casuals out there, you do not want to miss this one. I'm actually going to be talking. Yeah, I might as well cover that right now. So, yeah, they come out and said on International Fight Week that so they came out and said that International Fight Week in the UFC, they're going to try and make Conor McGregor going up against Max Holloway. Maybe for the BMF title. Actually, no, it wouldn't even be BMF title. What the fuck am I talking about? Charles Oliveira has that, even though for me it should be like the boring motherfucker, let's be honest, because that was a boring ass fight. But yeah, I don't want to see Conor McGregor fighting Max Holloway. Absolutely not. Like, if Conor's going to come back, he has to fight someone who is not that good, if you want me to be completely honest with you. Maybe a Chandler. I would even say Paddy Pimblett's a bad fight because I think Paddy Pimblett, even though he's not great, his ground game is good enough to take Conor McGregor down and maybe submit him pretty easily, I think. But yeah, guys, Max Holloway, Conor McGregor, most likely going to be standing, most likely going to be Max Holloway knocking him out. I don't see Conor McGregor beating Max Holloway at this point of life. Max Holloway's been active. He's learned a lot. He's not the same Max Holloway from back in the day. And Conor McGregor's lost it, let's be honest. You know, he's sleeping in those linen sheets and he's not training as hard as he was and he doesn't have that hunger like he once did. So yeah, I do think it's not the greatest fight to make, but if that fight goes ahead, then it's going to be Max Holloway the whole way. Yeah, I think Paddy could beat McGregor at this point. I think so. Okay, so guys, we're going to move on from the UFC. And right now, I'm about to play you I'm about to play you guys a clip of what Jake Shields made, like an AI clip of Erica Cook. And it's very, very accurate because, you know, at this point, we know that allegedly Erica was behind Charlie Kirk's murder. Now, you know, I'm not saying she killed him, but there's a lot of things that don't make sense. And Candice Owens has gone deep into it. A lot of other creators have spoken about it. And she just doesn't seem like the kind of woman that just lost. She doesn't seem like the kind of woman that just lost her husband and the man that she desires, respects, and loves her whole life. And here we're going to play a clip of what Jake Shields made with AI, obviously. And some of the comments are very funny. Jake Shields says, "Shabbat Shalom, my fellow whites." Someone else wrote, "Now show us the AI version." The Hodge twins were laughing about it. Yeah, here is the clip, guys. You guys tell me what you guys think of it. Oh, one sec. Don't know if we can make it bigger. No.
Shabbat Shalom, motherfuckers. Shabbat Shalom, motherfuckers.
And you know, this is what they should have played.
Shabbat Shalom, motherfuckers.
So guys, yeah, like you know, Erica's getting all the memes put on her, and at this point, I don't know why she's still talking or still making content on Turning Point USA, because she's getting clowned, the viewership's gone down, everyone knows it's a whole fugazi, and at this point, the only people that are actually supporting Turning Point USA, people like Ben Shapiro or even Erica Kirk, are either, you know, Jews themselves or very old conservatives who are cucked to Israel. They happen to be evangelical Protestant Christians. And yeah, man, it's very evident that a lot of people are getting paid their $7,000, you know?
I got my $7,000. I don't give a shit about dead kids. I got my $7,000. I love getting paychecks from Zionists.
So yeah, at this point, it's pretty clear that Erica is a undercover
Jew.
So let's move on from that. Here, I've got a video. Yeah, this guy's clips keep coming up for me on Instagram, and it's like a retarded version of Ribery playing like five-a-side football. And yeah, I really don't know what the fuck is going on. I don't know what's going on, but it's fucking funny. So I'm going to play you guys a few clips, compilations of this guy. His name on Instagram is Chucha Official. I guess he's playing in like, is that like an Algerian flag? I guess like maybe he's playing five-a-side in Algeria. But yeah, retard alert for sure. Like, obviously they're making fun of this guy and everyone's trolling him, but how bad does it get? And I'm pretty sure by looking at his reactions and his face, he's actually convinced that he's a star perhaps. But yeah, here's a clip, guys. Look, they're winding him up, pulling his shoulder. Look. Look at his face. Oh, he scored. Oh, shit. That's the first one I've seen him score. 1 minute. Like, we're giving him way too much credit right now, guys. 1 minute. That's not the one I see. I see a compilation of him looking like, you know, it was the worst of the worst. Oh, he scored again. What the fuck? No, I need to see the misses, bro. Where is it? Oh shit, man keeps banging in goals. That's his celebration, I guess. Nah, we gotta find the one that I seen, bro. They're making him look way too good. One sec. Where did I see the clip of him like missing clip off shot after shot? What the fuck? Where is it, man? Nah. What? I'm not playing no more fucking things. Oh yeah, here it is. Alright, cool. Push this. Where's the compilation? He had a compilation of like all his worst moments, I guess. No, we need to find that video, man. Where is this video? actually, look, I think for the retard league, he actually might be one of the better players. But it's like, tell me that your parents are cousins without telling me your parents are cousins. I don't know why his head is so forward. Like he's what's it called? Huh? No, he's what's it called when you stand straight? Like your posture. His posture is fucked. Like it's almost like someone hitting really hard in the back of his head, and then his neck just went forward and never went back again. But yeah, tell me your parents are cousins without telling me your parents are cousins. But yeah, man, I'm trying to find like a good clip. There was a compilation of like. Nah, this is bullshit, man. Like he's just showing you all his best bits, but. No, I gotta find it. Like an old video, maybe. Oh, maybe this is it. Why is it showing all these goals and shit, man? This is ridiculous. The one I saw was like, 1 minute, let me see. I've got it on my phone, but I'm gonna have to figure out which one it was. One sec, guys. Where is this clown, man? Oh, here it is, and he's wearing a yellow shirt. It looks like he's playing for like Dortmund. Oh, February 13th. All right, cool.
Esto es África.
One sec. February 4th. There must be the next one. Oh, I think I found it, guys. Oh, I think it's this one, actually. Pro. Alright, this is the one, guys. Look how bad this is, man. This is how Zion plays football. Huh? Oh yeah, shit, my bad. Let me play it from the beginning then. Yeah, guys, this is how Zion plays. I'm joking. All right, cool. Don't know why it got smaller now, but. My man nearly kicked the goalkeeper. Bro, it's harder to miss that than score that. Oh shit, he's got techos. And the thing that confuses me so much is like, I'd get if it was all content, but there's no way a bunch of loads of Algerians are like standing around the pitch and watching him play. Like, this must be a real thing. He must have made the team. Like, I don't know if it's like entertainment and football mix, but maybe this is the best Algeria have got. I don't know, guys. But I'll tell you guys, like, when it comes to nighttime, guys, I like to watch something that I can't concentrate on. So I don't like to have any politics on or anything that's any of value. Like, I don't want to concentrate in the last 30 minutes, hour before I go to sleep. I like to just free my mind. So before I was watching like streamers, like big Call of Duty streamers, and I'll just watch them as I'm falling asleep. But as of recently, I've been watching a lot of nostalgic wrestling videos. And it just reminded me how epic wrestling was when I watched it yesterday, man. I watched the Royal Rumble in 1998. Yeah, Stone Cold Steve Austin and The Rock right at the end. Mick Foley was like the first guy. I think he was called Cactus Jack at that point. And it just reminded me how downhill wrestling has got and how good it was back in the day, you know, with D-Generation X, Stone Cold, The Rock, Undertaker, Kane, Big Show, the Hardy Brothers, Devon Dudley, Bubba Ray, the Dudley Brothers. And yeah, man, like nowadays when I've seen like little clips of wrestling, I just feel sorry for the youth. And I think to myself, like, you know, it's like wrestling now is not even comparable to how wrestling was back in the day. Okay, so obviously a little bit of news. As you guys saw, there was a shooting at the White House dinner, and I'm not convinced, guys. You know, I've told you guys we live in the Matrix. Both sides are controlled by we know who. But anyway, coming away from that, I don't believe anything that was said about that shooting at the White House dinner, because I saw clips where everyone looked way too happy, and you know, Dana White just sat there, and the guy who was the shooter, there's images of him in an IDF outfit, and a lot of shit just doesn't make sense. A lot like the Charlie Kirk situation, a lot like the Trump shooting assassination situation, and it's very evident right now that, you know, we're living in the Matrix, and the people that are running the world are doing different, you know, false flags and situations that they're acting out themselves. And I don't know whether it's to take our eyes away from what's actually really happening in the world, you know, the Epstein list, the Iran war, etc. But I didn't believe anything that happened at that White House dinner. And it's like, come on, bro, like, you're telling me they're at the White House and the security is bad enough that some guy got in and, you know, started shooting shots at people and no one died? Fugazi. All a Fugazi. Now, like I told you guys, I don't really follow celebrities, and I didn't even know that Klay Thompson was with Megan Thee Stallion. But now apparently they've broken up. Allegedly, Klay Thompson cheated on her, and loads of people are jumping on the bandwagon saying how he fumbled the bag and she can do better, and good on her for moving on. And it's like, what the fuck are you guys even talking about? First of all, she's a female rapper that talks about her being a hoe, and literally her name is named after a male horse, first of all. Second of all, she's been ran through, we know a bunch of people that she slept with, people in the industry, and she has 3 children. And Klay Thompson is a multiple NBA champion who's 6'6" and can probably get himself any girl that he wants. And you have retards like this, you know, this Shaniqua chick on here saying how, like, he fumbled the bag and no one knew who he was before Megan Thee Stallion. And it's like, women are so dumb and stupid. They don't really understand that men don't care about fame and status. Yeah. And secondly, men do know who Klay Thompson was. Everyone knew who Klay Thompson was, apart from maybe females. Yeah. a bunch of 304s who don't watch basketball and all of a sudden know who Klay Thompson was because of him dating Megan Thee Stallion. It's like, who gives a fuck? No one cares about female opinions or any of this shit. And the facts are that Klay Thompson can move on from this situation, go date himself like a 21-year-old beautiful stunner, 18 even so, who's a virgin, and Megan Thee Stallion's back in the streets and no one's ever going to want to take her seriously. In fact, the chances of Megan Thee Stallion ever finding a man that she desires, respects, and actually wants to be with are going to be extremely slim, especially considering the amount of money she makes. She has a lot of fame and status, and she's always going to want a man who's more than her, and she ain't going to find that. Why would a guy who's successful, in shape, and has status ever going to date and embarrass himself with a woman like Megan Thee Stallion? Let's be completely honest. But yeah, I'll show you guys the article of this Shaniqua chick saying that no one knew Klay Thompson before her, and it wasn't just her. It wasn't just her, guys. You also had retards like Hassan Piker, one of the top libtard influencers, coming out and saying how he fumbled the bag and like, oh, it was Megan Thee Stallion. Like, and you know what's funny to me? It's only liberal men that would think like that. And even liberal women don't want to date liberal men. So even these liberal men who think they're coming out and being a white knight and, talking on a female standpoint, like the way they are, it's going to be beneficial for them in the dating market, but it's absolutely not true. In fact, you're going to get less respect. That's the truth. So Hassan Piker and all the Shaniqua saying that he fumbled the bag, you're delusional. And I'll even play a clip, actually. There's a clip of... I'll actually let the boys play it for you guys, but there's a clip. You guys can type it in on YouTube. There's a clip of Klay Thompson, and he's sitting down at an event with Megan Thee Stallion, and she's been loud and obnoxious and screaming and shouting, and he looks so embarrassed. And it goes back to what I've said before, that black men who are successful, majority of the time, they're not going to date a black woman, because the average black woman is 187 pounds, extremely masculine, obnoxious, loud, and doesn't respect male authority. And why the fuck would a man work so hard to get himself up the ladder in his life, accomplish what he has to accomplish, to have a woman disrespect him? Absolutely never going to happen. So a lot of these Shaniquas are going to end up single. And they're the ones out there taking accountability from Megan Thee Stallion, even though she's been on a date before, which I've seen clips. And apparently now he's fumbled the bag. And honestly, I don't understand how we got to this place where athletes are picking such bad women. Right now, I saw that Lewis Hamilton, again, a guy who has a lot of options out there, is dating Kim Kardashian. Like, bro, why the fuck would you do that? Why would you embarrass yourself like that? Why would you tarnish your reputation like that to go date a woman who's been banged out by a lot of guys, on camera, done porn videos with Ray J, Ye's ex-wife, has kids with him, and now you're dating her? Like, you really think that people are going to be out there like, oh, bro, well done, man, good on you? And let's not act like, you don't give a fuck. You do, because she represents you, and she's 304. So now you are a certified simp. And these athletes, I really don't understand how they don't learn female nature enough to be able to say, do you know what? This woman might be good for a fun time, but not a long time. Perhaps I might just smash and move on, but I shouldn't take this woman seriously, or even being seen in public with her like she's your woman. And the truth is, athletes, men out there, you don't want to date any of these types of women. In fact, you don't even want to date a woman who listens to these types of women. I personally wouldn't date a girl who listens to Cardi B, Megan Thee Stallion, Nicki Minaj, Ice Spice, Coyle Ray, any of these whores, Like, they're bad women, They're masculine. They all talk about sexual degeneracy. And you want to stay clear of any girls who not just are like these women, but even listen to these women, because influence creates actions and the way you carry yourself in life. Okay, let's move on from there. And another thing is, talking of the athletes, Steph Curry came out and he backed his boy Klay Thompson, which he should. You know, you should always back your brother. But he came out and said, you know, Steph Curry went live to defend Klay Thompson after Megan Thee Stallion exposed him for cheating. Yo, thought my boy was a simp, he a dog. City boys up. Splash Brothers ride together. Now, I get you backing your brother, yeah? And I'm happy that Klay Thompson finally saw the light and was able to get rid of this whore out of his life. However, Steph Curry, bro, you can't really talk, man. Your woman is so self-entitled, masculine. She's got main character syndrome. She's even spoke about, you know, she feels like she gave up her career to, like, be your wife. And it's like, shut the fuck up. Steph Curry is probably the best three-pointer ever. Yeah, he's an NBA star, multiple champion in the NBA, and you've got his 304 wife coming out and talking without no respect and basically showing that she doesn't respect him. Not only does she not respect him, but she's not grateful for anything that he's done for her, and she's making out that she's a victim and she could have done something with herself. And it's like, no, you couldn't have done shit. That's the truth. So Steph Curry, big props for coming out and backing your brother, but you got to get your woman in her place as well. All right. Oh shit, I thought I had it up here, but I can't see it right now. All right, cool. One sec, let me get this up. Nick. I think I'm gonna have to go on YouTube to find it. Nick Fuentes. Push.
The jungle.
So guys, if you guys are living under a rock, you might not know who Nick Fuentes is, but you know, right with conservative influencer, content creator. Me and him have basically all the same beliefs, and they align exactly the same, if you want me to be honest with you. Anti-Israel, Christian nationalist, want to go back to being America first. And Nick Fuentes, you know, as of the last year, he's probably one of the biggest right-wing influencers out there. Now, I know he got his address doxed by a bunch of liberals, and then he had a liberal turn up to his door. Now, you know, me, myself, I wouldn't really put my hands on a woman. I would have probably just called police on her, or just told her to fuck off. But here is a clip of Nick Fuentes pepper spraying her and then pushing her off the steps in front of his house. And look, I'm not saying he's in the wrong, even though I don't believe in ever laying any hands on women. You know, no women or any people, in fact, should ever turn up to anyone's address, because you're kind of threatening that person and try and make videos, or, you know, trying to troll them, knocking on their door. All of that kind of behavior is unacceptable. But here, guys, is the clip of Nick Fuentes pushing this libtard down the stairs.
Is looking nice today, chat.
No. Oh my God! What are you doing?
What are you doing?
Get the fuck out of here!
Did you get that on film? Yo.
I don't know why this XQC guy is responding to it, because, you know, he's a liberal himself, but it's like this woman has turned out to, like, make her victim. She's trying to make her out she's a victim. Like, did you get that? Oh my God, like, what are you doing? Like, bro, what the fuck are you doing? Why the fuck are you in front of a man that you don't know's house, like knocking on his door and trying to, you know, talk shit to him? And then you don't like it when he gets out his pepper spray. He's technically defending himself because you're outside his house, and he pushes you down the steps. Now, like I said, I wouldn't have carried myself like that, but I completely understand how Nick Fuentes felt, and I completely understand his actions as well. So let's watch that one more time, guys.
Jungle is looking nice today, chat.
Oh my God, what are you doing?
What are you doing?
Oh, get the fuck out.
The way she flew, though, that was too funny, though.
Did you catch that? Did you catch
But yeah, there's the video of Nick Fuentes. All right, let's move on from that. So here, guys, I'm gonna play you guys a clip of Adrian Broner, and he went on a stream with Dean the Great. You know, Dean the Great, I'm not too familiar with him, but he's the guy who got punched by Rampage Jackson's security. He also got slapped by Larry Wills, and I guess he did a stream with Adrian Broner, who's a 4-time former world champion in boxing. And you can basically see Adrian Broner kind of begging for an Uber to be sent to him to take him home. And it's very sad to see, man. Very, very sad to see. And I'll tell you guys why it's sad to see. Because when you see a man who's been at the top of his game, and he had so much success and so much finances, and then he loses it all, it's sad. But also it's sad because it shows that you can lose anything, guys. It doesn't matter how much money you have. If you don't look after your finances, if you're not careful with your finances, especially athletes, because at one point athletes stop making money and they have to rely on sponsors and money outside of the sport. So yeah, to see Adrian Broner being in this situation, and he looks like he's not doing too well either. The way he was talking, the way he was communicating, he was moving a little retarded, I'm not going to lie. But yeah, sad to see. And guys, I brought this up to tell you guys, reject materialism, man. And as a guy who spent a lot of money on materials, wasted a lot of my money, could have been in the same situation as Adrian Broner. That's why I'm, starting to change things in my life. And I do believe in becoming more of a minimalist, even on a godly path. But yeah, I'll play you guys a clip and you guys can see for yourselves. But yeah, very sad to see.
Nah.
What's good? What? Want me to let him know?
Or you can get it back. I'm gonna make sure you get it back.
I don't got bread.
Yeah, or? Uber?
I came in an Uber, yeah.
You get Uber?
Do I have Uber? No.
That's cool. Hey, start recording with that.
I got you.
You made a fool of that nigga.
Nah, never.
Well, you really made a fool of that.
No, I got you.
I seen it.
Alright, I turned it. I got you.
Nah.
What's good?
And let me tell you guys something as well.
What?
Let me tell you guys something about this clip, and this is why I don't respect majority of streamers or their teams, but I would be furious with my team if they ever did this. Like, I would literally lose it on Matthew and Zion. There's times where morals and ethics are way more important than content, guys. And the fact that Dean's cameraman, knew what was going on. He knew that obviously Adrian Broner was perhaps not in a good place, and asking him to sort out the Uber, and he will sort out the money after. To keep the camera rolling on a live stream like that And obviously he didn't realize it was rolling until the end when he said, "Oh, you're making a fool out of me." Come on, man, that's sad. And as a men, I think we should stand for something more than that. Now, if they didn't like him, that's different. But obviously, Adrian Broner's come on the stream for Dean, and sad to see this situation. But also, when a man's down, I think other men need to make sure to be there and not to shit on a person while he's down as well. So that's my take on that clip. Guys, also, Geico, man, fucking Geico. I'm coming out of you guys on my stream. You guys fucking are fucking useless. And I'm going to have to change my insurance company. But like some guy, I was going to curse this guy and, talk shit about him. But the facts are, Americans all terrible drivers. But this guy tried to park his car in the car park of the beach. And he ended up scraping the back of my side of my car. And, he took complete responsibility for it. He left me a note, which, God bless, he's a good guy. And let me tell you guys, at the end, when this is all and done, I've been watching this guy's Instagram. He's like a musician. I'll probably go get him a gift. Yeah, and I know a lot of people probably think, you don't have to do that. He's a fucking idiot. How the fuck did he scrape your car when he's like, it's a fucking car park? I get that, but he could have driven off and not left me the details and, gone and lived his life, and I would never have known who it was. Maybe I would have found out through cameras and research, but it still would have been an issue. However, he left me the note. But look, I'm mentioning this because of Geico. And then look, Geico are meant to give me a rental while my car's in the body shop that is meant to be as comparable as my car. Now, I drive a 2022 Range Rover Sport. These motherfuckers are offering me Nissan, like some small Nissan, and it's not just that. Yeah, it's an SUV Nissan, some small SUV Nissan, but it's not just that, but it's the attitude as well. So I call them today, and Shaniqua answers, and like I was telling the team before, if you guys can go research yourselves, but black women are voted the worst to talk to in services and the worst women to deal with in services. So people who work in the service sector say that black women are the rudest to deal with, and also the other way around, black women are the rudest in service sectors to actually sort things out for them. And fucking hell, did the stereotypes show themselves today. Like, I spoke to Shaniqua first, she's giving me attitude and, telling me that the best they can do is that, and it's the same comparable car and, dumb fucking 304. So I ask her to speak to someone above her. She gives me her supervisor. I'm hoping that I'm going to speak to a man, or actually a woman who hasn't, doesn't have that kind of mentality. And then, it goes from one Shaniqua to another Shaniqua. And I'm like, for fuck's sake, what the fuck is going on here? And, it goes from that to them saying, well, we're going to have to speak to the supervisor, your manager now. And they said the manager's going to call me back. They still haven't called me, fucking useless. And they said she. I'm like, bro, how the fuck did I get 3 women in a row to talk to in Geico? Like, I need to speak to a fucking man to understand me. Because women, like, honestly, man, they live a self-entitled life. They don't understand how reality works. And it's like, they should be giving me a car which is comparable to my car. So, yeah. Anyway. Rant over, sorry. Okay, here, guys. I'm going to play you guys you know what? Actually, I think. So right now, guys, I'm going to respond to like a situation that happened between Myron Gaines, one of my favorite YouTubers, if you want me to be honest with you. Epic content. If you don't know who he is, definitely go check out his content. And, he has a back and forth with Amaranth's husband. Now, you guys are probably thinking, who the fuck is Amaranth? Well, she's like Twitch streamer who's a degenerate 304. She has OnlyFans, and you know she's going out with this Ling Ling guy, who you know is clearly some cuck, some absolute beta male, if you want me to be honest with you. But anyway, so this guy, his name's Nick Lee. Fucking hell, he's got my name's terrible. He comes out and he says Nick Lee officially stands with Israel. They lost way more on October 7th than we lost on 9/11. If what happened to them to the US would have we would have nuked someone. Now this dumb Ling Ling, fucking sweet chow mein motherfucker, yeah, don't know what the fuck he's talking about, because 9/11 was also done by. All you need to do is go do your research. Dancing Israelis, why Silverstein weren't at work that day, Howard Lutnick didn't turn up. There's loads of reasons why I believe are behind 9/11. So he uses that as an example, and then he uses October 7th as an example, when we know that October 7th was basically, I'm not saying it was orchestrated by Israel, but it was allowed by Israel so they can go into Gaza, implement a real genocide, level it, and take over the land. Now, Myron responds with saying $7,000 for this retard. That's what Myron responds to when the guy.
$7,000. I don't give a shit about dead kids. I got my $7,000. I love getting paychecks from Zionists.
So guys, Myron writes 7,000 for the retard. Now, after that, Amaranth's husband, which that is literally his ex account, his name on X is Amaranth's husband, yeah? He turned around and he says, maybe 7,000 sounds like a lot of money for you, but for me, it's the interest I earn sleeping for 2 hours. I wouldn't even take a shit for 7,000. I earn more passive income in a day in my pajamas. Sit down, bro. Sit down, little bro. Now, Myron responds. Let's go to Myron's response. So Myron responds saying, you might want to sit down before I share the OF one. Oh, no, sorry. Myron responds saying, you live off your OF wife. I don't flaunt my money like a retard like you do. And you dress up as a dog and get walked down Twitch conventions by your thought wife, which are all facts. Yeah, you can go look at clips. In fact, the boy should like show some clips while I'm clipping this. But yeah, there's clips of him being walked around like a dog. He lives off his OF wife. And like Myron said, real guys don't flaunt their money. Yeah, they don't flaunt materialism. Like, yeah, is it great to be successful? However, if you're just basing your whole self off materialism, you obviously don't have much value as a man. Now, Amaranth's husband responds saying, your name is Myron Gaines. Do you even lift? You will never have a girl with a lower body count. Enjoy sloppy seconds. And then Myron responds saying, your name is Amaranth's husband. You might want to sit down before you pee. Oh, wait, you already do. Bro, cooked Amaranth's husband. Little Ling Ling, sweet chow mein, fucking fried rice, motherfucker. But yeah, motherfucker. But yeah, and yeah, man, that was basically it. And obviously he posts up saying, should I buy a Bugatti? Him flexing his Rolls Royce and all of this. But yeah, Ling Ling got absolutely cooked by Myron Gaines, man. Absolutely cooked. All right, cool. Let's move on from this story as well. Okay, here I'm going to respond, guys. Here I've got a funny ass video, guys. It's in the Welsh Fifth League, and it's a goalkeeper about to take a goal kick, and some dude goes behind him and pulls down his shorts and his boxers while he's about to take a goal kick. But yeah, this shit will only happen in Wales. But I'm not only playing this because of the funniness of the video, but even if you listen to the accent, like you would think that Welsh sounds similar to English, obviously been in the United Kingdom, but guys, Welsh, like literally, if someone spoke Welsh to someone like me and Zion, like we would never understand what the fuck they're saying. It's like completely, it's completely, what's the word I'm looking for? It's completely like, yeah, we've never heard it before. I don't know, I'm having a bit of a brain fart, but here's the video, guys.
Wel, mae'n gigol I Ben Craig. Mae wyn yn ei chymryd ti. O, pa di hwn? Na. Ymddygiad gwerthus. Unwaith eto gen gynfagwyr Ben Craig a mae'n gael sgraig. Cywir o ddys!
Siwn nes I weld staen brown lawr I grac di dino wan. Dos adre newid y drons eidir basta bydyr.
Mae'n chwarae maen meddar dyfarnwr. A mae'n mynd syth at Lewis. O, at Jenkins a mae'n sythi. O, mae'n fewn. Mae'n dair. Mae'n smonach hollol smonach llwyr a mae'n gael sgraig heddiw.
Dwi'n bod be oedd y waith y fanna, y defendio, neu y stad a drons, Winffordd Wyn y beth ffwc di yna fo, llawn tylla, mwy na
So
long
he definitely tilted at that goalkeeper to go make a mistake and then concede a goal. But yeah, that Welsh language is insane for me. Like, to me, that sounded like English cross like Hebrew, cross like French or some shit. That was some crazy shit. But yeah, that was a funny ass clip, man. All right, one sec. Okay, so here, LA singles are flocking to Lux West Coast grocer Erewhon to get dates better than the apps. I guess this is more for females than males. And let me tell you guys something. If you want me to be honest with you, in the last 10 years, majority of the women that I've slept with, a lot of them have come from Erewhon. Now, let me tell you guys, it's better for women than men. You guys are probably thinking, well, bro, you slept with a bunch of girls. What do you mean by that? Well, women can go there and find maybe a guy who's husband material, a guy who has money, obviously successful. But the other way around, you go there for females. Them females are not going to be able to cook, not clean. They're going to be self-entitled. They're going to be liabilities over being assets. And I'm telling you guys, you're not going to find good women at Erewhon. Now, might you find girls to fuck on the weekend at Erewhon? You know, I live a Christian life now, and I think that's degeneracy. But I'm saying if you live a secular life, then maybe that's your place. But if you're looking for a good girl, then Erewhon is probably going to be the last place to find a good girl. You've got more chance at Whole Foods. But I also saw a lot of the comments and people saying, well, I don't want to date a man that's that retarded that he goes and spends like $40 on lettuce and stuff like that. Well, look, I don't know where people get this whole thing that Erewhon overcharges for everything. Look, you can go into Erewhon and find olive oil, certain specific strawberries, certain specific dates that you can't find anywhere else that are going to be more expensive than dates, olive oil or strawberries anywhere else you go. But there's plenty of groceries and items that you can get from Erewhon that are exactly the same price at Erewhon at Whole Foods, especially if you're a member and you get your 10% off. So this whole like thing that like Erewhon is so expensive, like way more expensive than Whole Foods, it's not true. Now, I don't really eat any of the hot food or the smoothies from Erewhon, but what I will tell you is the little things like their quinoa, their olive oils, their dates, their halloumis, their meat, their dairy, it is on another level to any other supermarkets. Now, is it the only place you can get high quality stuff? No, you can go to places like Sprouts, Bristol Farms, or even farmer markets where you're going to get the best deals. However, Erewhon is not overhyped. It is great, but you got to know what to get from Erewhon and what not to get. What is that noise? Is that the processor? Something's on. I feel like maybe is it printer? Yeah. It's the computer, isn't it? Is it? Oh shit. Do you reckon it's getting old? Hopefully my laptop's not coming to the end of its days, guys, but yeah. Another thing I've seen recently, which has been pissing me off, is loads of 304s on Instagram and even other platforms, but I've been seeing it a lot on Instagram. And they're using Christianity to market themselves, sexualize themselves, and get more attention to their page. And it's disgusting. Grifting, 304, whorish behavior. And I've been seeing it a lot more and more on Instagram. And we need to shame these girls, man. We need to keep everyone accountable. The same way we'll keep a man accountable for being a thief, a simp, a loser. We need to do the same thing with women. Because we live in a gynocentric world right now. And we don't keep women accountable for any of their actions, anything they say, or the way they move. And it kind of reminds me of where I'm coming to. So I had a conversation with one of the girls from my community. Obviously, I'm not going to mention her name or anything like that. And, she seems like a cool girl. And in person, I'll be honest with you, she holds herself very modestly and respectfully. And she is a pretty girl. She's not ugly by any means. She's pretty. Now, she's nothing special, but she's pretty. She definitely could go get herself a great man if she carried herself properly and if she had a good past. Now, going on to the story, we were having conversations and she brought up that she's a virgin. However, her Instagram says otherwise. Now, in person, as I said, she carries herself modestly. She's dressed very well. And she told me she's a virgin. However, on her Instagram, she looks like a complete 304. She's in music videos. She's doing streams with other guys who are losers. And I told her, just like a brother, I said to her, I'm not going to say her name, but I said, listen, you need to change that, because the same way that you're going to judge a man off rip, he's going to judge you off rip. Now, her response to me was, well, that if a man's going to judge me from my social media, then he's not the man for me. And it's like complete delusion. And I had to switch it up on her and get a little bit, not aggressive, but a little bit more assertive. And I told her, like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, a man with value, a man who has options, he's going to look at your Instagram and he's going to think that you're a whore. He's going to think that you're a 304. He's going to think that you have a promiscuous past, and perhaps you are a virgin. Let's say that you are a virgin, even though I don't believe you. You might be able to convince other people in our community or other men. But listen, I've been around the block and I understand that virgins are going to be very shy. They're not going to post bikini pictures. They're going to carry themselves a certain type of way. Now, if she didn't have a promiscuous Instagram and, any of that, and she told me she was a virgin, the way she carries herself in person, I perhaps would have believed her. But yeah, with her social media and all of that, there's no chance I believe she is. And even if she is, the way you hold yourself, you're going to get treated that way. It's the same way, like, imagine a man wearing tracksuits with holes in it, out of shape, speaks like a retard, always posting himself playing video games, but then he meets a girl and like she kind of turns him down and he's like, but listen, I'm a multi-millionaire. I'm really successful. I work really hard. She ain't going to hear none of it. She's just going to be not interested in him. And women don't understand that. Men, they disqualify women different to how men disqualify women differently to how women disqualify men. With a man, especially if he's a secular man, he's going to sleep with you, or at least try and sleep with you first and then disqualify you. With women, obviously, they disqualify men up front. So, yeah, guys, I don't know how women don't understand this, but, yeah, man, like, a lot of the women are cooked, man. A lot of the women are cooked. Okay, so I like this story that come up, and I saw it, so I had to respond to it. But 52-year-old American Pie actress Shannon Elizabeth earned over $1 million in her first week on OF. And I used to be a big fan of American Pie, and I know exactly who this is. This is this Nadia chick, right? It was like Jim's first girlfriend. He ends up like busting bare quick and shit. And look, American Pie is a fucking hilarious movie. But yeah, guys, so we've got 52-year-old American Pie actress Shannon Elizabeth earned over $1 million in her first week on OF. But it goes back to what I've been saying. Like, feminism obviously doesn't work, because you have an actress who was in a big movie, it was a massive comedy movie, and she's been an actress for a while now, and she's 52, and she's had to turn to prostitution after all this time for her to make money. And here the comment is 70 years of feminism and the most profitable occupation for women is still prostitution. And no lies were told. Absolutely no lies were told. And it goes back to what I say, that women need to be parented by their man or their brother or their father. They don't do well when they have independence and freedom. And even like now, where women have more opportunity than they've ever had, they're more educated than they've ever been, and they're still turning around to OnlyFans in the end. Absolutely sickening, disgusting, and 304 behavior. Okay, here guys, I have a clip of a nun who was attacked in Jerusalem. And, you know, it goes back to everything I've been saying about them boys, the small hats. They really don't value no life outside of Jewish life. Whether they're Muslim, secular, Christian. In fact, secular, they probably don't mind it, but especially if other religions, they don't like Christianity, they don't like Muslims. In fact, I would say they hate Christianity more than anything. And here we have a French nun which was violently assaulted by an Israeli settler in East Jerusalem, Old City, on April 27th. A researcher at the Dominican-run Biblical and Archaeological Institute, she suffered bruises to her head and other injuries after being thrown down to the ground and kicked repeatedly by a 36-year-old male suspect, who was arrested the same night and is being questioned on the suspicion of racist assault. And let me tell you guys what's going to happen. Absolutely nothing's most likely going to happen, because the Israeli government actually lives the same way. They've been doing the same to the Palestinians. They've been doing the same to the Lebanese, to the Syrians. And like I said, the Jews, they don't value no life outside of their own. Now, does it mean every Jew? Obviously not. And, you know, when I generalize, guys, high IQ people generalize. Like, it's only low IQ people who are like, well, that's not true about them, or well, I'm not like that. Well, yeah, we're not talking about a personal thing. We're talking about in general. Are there good Jews out there? Of course there are, especially a lot of ethnic Jews, right? A few of the guys who are Christian at my church are ethnic Jews. However, to sit here and say that there's not a big problem within Judaism, you're being delusional. Like, here we have a Catholic nun who was violently assaulted. And, you know, if Christians are going to come out and say, you know, fuck the small hats, or, you know, fuck Israel, or, you know, like, Israel shouldn't exist, or all the stuff that Dan Bilzerian, Candace Owens, and all the rest of them are saying, they turn around and they're like, you know, they turn around and they act like they're a victim, and they don't like it, and, you know, they're like,
Oy vey, oy vey, oy vey. They know we run the banks.
oy vey, oy vey.
Oy vey. They know we pimp the skanks. Oy vey, oy vey, oy vey. They know we start the wars. Oy vey, oy vey, oy vey. They now hate us even more.
But yeah, guys, let's move on from that story. So here I'm gonna. Oh yeah, so I didn't know who this guy was, but a guy called Ernie Docio, who was like an elephant hunter, ironically died, and I'd say it's karma, you know, straight from God. But yeah, he dies getting trampled over by elephants, a group of elephants, and you know, at the end of the day, you know, I don't want to see any death, even to the evil, but at the same time, he kind of deserved it, man. Like, you're going out there killing innocent animals, like, you know, hunting, I guess, the thusks, hunting the husks of elephants. And yeah, he ironically died by getting trampled over elephants. And, you know, a lot of the comments are like very happy about it. And yeah, he kind of wrote his own destiny, let's just say that. All right, I did the Welsh clip already. Do you know what other female behavior I've noticed recently? When women are 18, they turn around and they say, I don't want to date a boy. When a woman is 21, she says she wants to date a real man, right? When she's 25, a woman turns around and says, I want to date an older man. And then when a woman gets to 30, 35, you know, anywhere 30 plus, they turn around and they say, ooh, men are disgusting for wanting a younger woman. How contradictory is that? It's like when they're in their prime and they have all the options and, you know, all the freedom out there to go and pick the best man they can find, they don't complain. Yeah, they say they want to date older men, more established men, men who have more money than them, more status than them, older than them a lot of time. But as they get older and they realize that men their age don't want them no more, they start to shame those men. And yeah, like I said, contradictory and typical 304 behavior. Okay, guys, stream's done here. We are 2 hours and 10 minutes in. I thought it was going to be a little bit longer of a stream, but we're done here. But we're going to go over to Kick and we're going to review the new chew. So if you guys don't know, the new chew, it is Piachew cross Piachew, which is my favorite strain of this year. Actually, yeah, this year and last year. I've been very high on the Piachew. I speak great things about it. The firm are also a great brand, even though it is hit and miss sometimes, but they have innovated a lot in the industry. They were the ones who come out with the Toad Venom, now the Piachew. A few other strains as well of theirs I like. I love the Blue Canyon, for example. But yeah, for me, I'm all about the Piachew. And here, guys, we have the new chew number 8, which is the Piachew 1 cross the Piachew 4. So I'll show you guys on the side camera quickly. Oh shit, yeah. Yeah, let's go on to Kick. Yeah, everyone on YouTube, come over to Kick. We're ending the stream. We're ending the stream here on YouTube and Twitch, and come over to Kick. Come over to Kick. We're not even going to be on Rumble. Come over to Kick, guys. Probably not. Yeah. I'll give it a couple minutes for everyone to come over. No. Are you lot done? Are you lot done? What's that?